Dear ladies and gentlemen, it's indeed an honor and privilege for me to have a few minutes to talk about the state of the relations under the Vietnamese current communist regime in Vietnam. As for the status of the races of the minority, I don't know well, so I don't mention this issue. However, I do know for sure that they are much more brutally exploited and mistreated than the rest of the majority. In reality, as a man who had been lived under communist Vietnam for over 30 years, from 1975 to 2006, I can honestly say that the communist regime is a latest one. Firstly, deceitful, secondly, evil, thirdly, very wily in evil, and fourthly, devastating, destroying. As of their 80s characteristics is that the communists are always ready to do evil to achieve their purpose. Their sole purpose is to protect the Communist Party and the communist regime so that they can permanently but lawlessly rule over the country, regardless of whether the people disagree or resist. In spite that under this evil regime, people had been lived so miserable and fearful, and if necessary, they would be ready to sell the land and sea of the country to China for selfish survival, even to sell the whole country. They do all kinds of evil like that, while the true religions always encourage their followers to do good and to fight against evil. So, the Vietnamese atheist communists never accepted the existence of religions. For example, the Catholic Church socially has the Church's teaching on society, whereby Catholics have the duty and responsibility to resist social injustice and to exercise social justice. Thus, religions should struggle against evil, so they are implicitly against the communist regime because it is willing to do evil and often does evil. Because religion is always detrimental to the freedom of doing evil, they always advocate the destruction of religions. But up to date, the destruction of religions in all sorts of ways, from brutal to subtle, was unsuccessful for many reasons. However, due to limited time, I cannot conveniently present it in details. Being unable to destroy religions, the Vietnamese communists seeks to convert the core values of religions so that religions are no longer harmful to them. For example, they want to turn religions into purely superficial festive ones. That is to say, to make religions become merely superficial shells that everyone can easily see. For example, religious rituals, material facilities such as temples, churches, etc. But the essence or core values of the religions has been corrupted from within. Foreigners who visit Vietnam can see very beautiful and spectacular churches, temples, with festivities crowded with believers, even spreading out. So they can immediately think that Vietnam has the freedom of religions. Therefore, they would be fooled. But as everyone can see, among the religious followers in Vietnam nowadays, there are not many people who are ready to fight against social injustice. Even religious leaders, in spite that the social injustice is very serious and spreading all over the country. Many religions are similar to a cat with no claws, so the pesky rats in the house are ignored. Or similar to a mute dog, when a thief goes into the house, it does not bark but lets the thief do anything he wants. The communists have been quite successful in transforming religions into purely formal religions without the fundamental core values. Some religions have been completely metamorphosed, even become instruments for the regime, ready to do whatever communists want them to do. Of course, there are some believers who practice the nature of the religions, that is, to speak the truth, to fight for social justice, for human rights, as were required by religion, but they were all persecuted or put into jail by the authorities. The time is over. Thank you so much for your listening. Goodbye.